Here is a question I want you to sit with for the next few seconds. And the question is, what does a lead experience between the moment they first saw your product and the moment they get on a call with your sales team? I mean, not what they intend to experience, what the actual experience is for them. If you cannot answer this question clearly, this episode is specifically for you. By the end of this episode, you're going to walk away with three things. You're going to know exactly what the content to sales gap is. You're going to understand why almost every SaaS or B2B company doing over 100,000 grand monthly has it. And you're going to understand how to find the gap between your content and sales before it costs you another quarter of lost deals. So let's get into it immediately. Let us start with the honest version of this. Every single buyer walking on the surface of this planet actually thinks they are a special case. And that is not a wrong mindset to have. For instance, when a founder asks me, how do we know this will work for us specifically? What they are really saying is, I haven't seen proof that looks exactly like my situation. And I get it. Honestly, I do. And they are telling me that my industry is different, my product is more complex, my buyers are more sophisticated, my sales cycle is longer, my team is unique, and so forth and so forth. That instinct is very understandable because everyone thinks their situation is the exception. But the reality behind delivering results is that the mechanism that makes the result work doesn't care about your industry. It doesn't even care about your product complexity. It doesn't care about the length of your sales cycle. What matters most is that it is working because one thing is always true in almost every SaaS B2B company doing meaningful revenue that has built a system, which is your leads are arriving on calls with objections that your content is it handling. It is a big problem that exists whether you are selling a HR software, a developer tools, or even a marketing platform. So it doesn't matter the industry. Yes, the objections may be different, but the mechanism and the structure and the system behind delivering of results is very identical. Now let's look at what this content to sales gap actually looks like in practice. Just imagine this. A lead discovers your product, maybe through an ad, a referral, a LinkedIn post, or even a G2 review, and they are so interested enough to book a call with you. Between that moment they discovered you and the call that they have booked happens, they might have visited your website. They might have read a case study or two, or even go as far as watching a demo video if you have one. Now ask yourself this one question. Does any of that content or does any of your content in these public places that they have gone through addresses the specific objections they are going to raise on the call? Does any of your content address, we've tried this before and it didn't work? And does it actually explain why your price is justified compared to the cheaper alternatives they're already considering? In almost every SaaS company, the answer is always no. Their content is not being distanced. The website is talking about the features and the benefits of their product, and their case studies is talking about results without addressing the skepticism that precedes those results in the minds of people. And their demo video shows what the product does without acknowledging whether a rational buyer would hesitate and why. So the lead gets on the call carrying all of these objections your content did not handle, and your sales rep ends up spending first half of the meeting doing the work your content should have done in the first place. That there is the gap. If you went through this question with me and you imagined this and you found out that this is not happening in your business, that's the gap. And the reason it is invisible is it does not show up as a very bold line item anywhere, and it just shows up as a close rate that is lower than it should be. Okay, I'm going to show you how to find your gap, and I'm going to give you the actual diagnosis. Right now. This is what you're going to do. Pull up your last 10 lost deals. I mean, go to your CRM or wherever you are using to store your deals. Go and pull up your last 10 lost deals. And for each of those deals, ask yourself one question. What was the final objection that killed it? I mean, write them down. Don't just assume it. Make sure that what you are writing down is the correct answer. If you don't have that answer, go and meet the salesperson responsible for answering the question and find the answer. You will see 3 to 5 objections coming up repeatedly. And when an objection comes up repeatedly for your sales team on the sales call, it means that that objection is not being handled before they ever get on the call with the lead. And this is not a sales problem. It is not because your salespeople are not the best. It is because you don't have a system whereby objections are pre-handled even before they come up on calls. If those objections are showing up at the end of your sales cycle, they were present at the beginning too. Yes, they were present from the onset. It's just that your content never addressed them. So now go to your website. Search for content that directly addresses each of those objections you have written down. I mean, content that speaks to each of those objections, not one that vaguely relates to them. If you cannot find any, you have found your gap. That is the gap. Meanwhile, I turned this exact diagnostic into a one-page framework. I mean, a lost deal analysis mapped to content gaps. It is completely free and is in the show notes. If you want to run this audit on your own pipeline before our next episode, go ahead and grab it right now and do it this week. In fact, do it today. The results will be uncomfortable, yes, but I promise you to be very useful to you. Go and get it. Back to our conversation. Here is the thing about the our situation is unique concern that I always get, and of course others get as well. The objections are unique to your products, yes, but the mechanism that handles those objections, they are not. That mechanism is not unique to your product. The specific words are different, yes, but the structure of the problem is identical, which means the solution is also structurally identical. Even if the content itself looks completely different for your product versus someone else's product, you do not necessarily need proof that this worked for a company in your exact niche. You need to understand why it works at all, because once you understand the mechanism, leads arriving pre-educated close faster than leads arriving skeptical. In every industry, at every point, in every sales cycle, the question stops being, will this work for us? And becomes, where exactly is our version of this gap? Those are different questions. The first one is looking for a reason to hesitate, and the second one is already solving the problem. So when I get prospects tell me this objection, right, I ask them to show me their system, and then I ask them to walk me through what a prospect experiences between discovering them and getting on a call. And I promise you, 9 out of 10 times, they can't answer that clearly. Not because they are not paying attention to their businesses, but because nobody has ever mapped that journey clearly for them. It just happens by accident. Whatever content exists. And let's find what they find. That's not the way it's supposed to be. The inability to answer that question is the answer you're looking for. So yes, the gap is a real one. And the work I do is very simple. We just help them always find it by themselves. So if you're a SaaS founder, or you run a B2B business, or you are a marketing leader, and you want to run this exact diagnostic on your own pipeline, go ahead and book a 30 minutes call with me. And I want you to bring your last 10 lost deals and your current website. On that call together, we'll map everything in real time, and you will leave knowing exactly what content your system is missing and exactly what it is costing you, even in lost deals and revenue. If we work together after that, is a separate conversation. Go ahead and book the call. The link is in the show notes. And if you have listened to this point, I'm very excited that you are part of today's episode. And I can't wait to have you in the next episode of the Beyond the Content with Judith Amarachi. Bye for now.